We off?
30 seconds of carefree bliss.
Oof, like wind in your hair carefree.
Oh, like using Clorox Disinfecting All-Purpose Cleaner in the home carefree.
Yes!
Like dog slobbing on the coffee table and cleaning it with Clorox Carefree.
He's on a roll now.
Spit toothpaste on the faucet.
You got it. You got it.
Peanut butter on the light switch.
Oh, spritz, spritz.
Spritz, spritz. Clorox, man. Clean feels good.
Okay, we're back.
Use as directed.
Hello and welcome to Lifetime Uncorked, the podcast where we discuss your favorite made-for-TV movies. Whether you love to hate watch or hate yourself for loving them, pour up a glass of your favorite cocktail and join us. I'm your host, Patrick Serrano, and my guests today are...
I am Drew Current.
And I'm Sarah Reed.
Sarah's back.
Sarah, back again.
Sarah, our emergency contact when we need a guest to come on.
And in life.
I know where you live. Yes, and my emergency contact in life. That's correct.
The actual real one.
If Pat's in trouble, call me.
Yes. But if anybody needs to know, Sarah actually watches all these movies with me most of the time.
Yeah.
And this weekend was quite the doozy with 18 movies coming out.
It was a long one.
And I watched probably about 16 of those. I
Holy
saved
shit.
a couple for this week, but I literally was home on Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night,
And you just
watching Hallmark
watching
and
oh,
Lifetime.
I
Yeah.
had to leave him for a little bit.
Yeah.
She did. She's like, I need a night out.
I couldn't handle
I
it.
can go.
I
out.
can't. Because I'm not fun when I'm watching these
No,
guys. I'm
he's
taking
not.
notes. I'm making Instagram stories, and I'm drinking wine sometimes.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
You're
But-
a busy man.
You know, it's a lot to keep up with, but Sarah has gotten me through it. We're here. We did it.
Good thing we make a living from this podcast.
Yes. You know, so glad that we make a living. But, you know, if anybody wants to donate our Patreon, no.
Yeah.
We don't have a Patreon.
We
Not
don't
yet.
have one.
But someday. Or just Venmo me, Patrick Miguel. Everyone Venmo me $1, okay? Speaking of business, just want to remind everyone to rate and review the podcast on Apple Podcasts. We have 72 reviews now.
Yeah.
And... oh, my work email's still up. And my favorite review from this week, if I can find it, was a girl. Okay, so Erin from Texas, not from Wisconsin.
Oh,
That's her username.
so not the Aaron from Wisconsin. Okay. Okay. So
Not
it's-
Erin from Wisconsin.
It's the
Erin
one from Texas. Gotcha.
Yes. And her title is Heart Emoji. Mm-hmm. And then it is cheersing champagne glass, a popping champagne glass, Chinese food, and a princess.
Yes.
Yes. So
Perfect.
drinking
Perfect.
champagne, eating Chinese, being a princess, watching Hallmark.
That's
Life.
very nice of her.
I mean, that's literally, that's you, Pat.
That's me. That's my dream life. Aaron from Texas gets me.
She
Thank
really
you, Aaron
does.
from Texas, for
Yeah.
writing a great review.
Thanks, Aaron from Texas, and not from Wisconsin.
No.
Yes,
Wisconsin.
not Aaron from Wisconsin. You suck, Aaron from Wisconsin. We don't like you.
Yeah.
Write a review and maybe we'll like you.
Yeah.
Okay. So today we had to have an emergency session with Sarah because we are switching to Lifetime. We started watching Lifetime movies, and I had some pre-scheduled, but we late one night, very late. It was like one of the last movies I watched. Sarah was also watching with me, and it was just so amazing, in my opinion. And I was
great.
like, I need to have this on the podcast and explain this to Drew because it was the Lifetime one, so different than a Hallmark one.
Yeah.
And Lifetime does kind of do like Hallmarky rom-coms. This was not that.
Okay.
So the movie we're talking about today is called Every Other Holiday.
Yeah.
It stars Dee Wallace from E.T., the mom from E.T.
Yeah.
Looked the same.
Okay. Yeah, she does.
Oh.
She has the same haircut and
Okay.
everything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Schuyler Fisk, who is like a singer-songwriter, Canadian actress.
Schuler.
Schuyler is her name, the redhead.
Okay.
And then David Clayton Rogers is the male, the husband, or ex-husband, as it were, in this
okay.
one, Drew.
Uh-huh.
And we'll just jump right into it and explain it to you. And we'll
Okay.
see what you think.
Yeah,
Because
hit me
this
with
one, Drew, was not a fan of when we went through the synopsis. I'd say the synopsis has changed. You
So
know,
the movie changed.
the movie changed.
Along with the
Yeah.
title. Yeah, right?
Yes, the title was, because this is a Canadian movie, of course, A Holiday Wish Come True.
Oh, okay.
Which kind of spoils the ending.
that does.
So
That's a spoiler ending.
I think going into it, I think we all know wishes are going to come true here.
That's true. And a holiday wish always comes true.
Yeah.
You don't make a wish at the holidays and it doesn't come true.
No, it always happens.
So I'm wishing for, I don't know. I don't really want anything. I'm happy as it is. I have everything.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. So thanks, everyone. All right. We start off with an animated.
I want more video games. Always.
Well, you have to wait for the holidays to have a wish.
Oh.
You can't say you want. You have to say you wish.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I wish I had more
We
video
start
games.
off with an animated beginning, Drew, which is very unusual.
Yeah,
Okay.
threw us for a loop.
And it was like kids' drawings, like
okay.
a therapist would have a kid draw pictures. It looked like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
But it
it's
was
like little
animated.
stick figures, and they're like, doing Christmassy
Sled riding.
thing.
Cool.
Snowball fight.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
in.
and
I'm
it's
in.
like the title credits. So instead of like a cityscape, we get that.
I'm in.
Yeah. And we meet Tracy and Rick, and they're a separated couple, or they're actually divorced, and they have 2 daughters. 2 like young,
Yeah, probably
7-ish.
like 10 and 7, something like that.
Okay.
And you haven't seen Teen Mom, but it's very much the Teen Mom situation where they're dropping off the kids like in a parking lot and they're talking outside
Yes.
of the car,
He's in his truck
Okay.
playing with the kids.
Yeah, I've been there. That
Yeah.
was kind of us grown up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, great. Yeah. So you know the drill. And
It
they're
doesn't have to be Team Mom. I guess we should clarify that.
right. But it reminded me very much of like Macy dropping off Bentley.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm down for this movie already.
Okay.
Because what's interesting about this movie, Drew, is that it's a different socioeconomic class.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So than we see normally in a Christmas movie. So
Right.
it's very clear. Like she works at a diner. She was working Thanksgiving holiday to get that time and a half.
Okay.
He works at a bar. He's
Mm-hmm.
a singer-songwriter, but it's not going well. So, they're not like at Martha's Vineyard and whatever,
Yeah.
inheriting a cottage.
Emberley Manor.
Yes. No, none of that. They're like real people who are like struggling to make ends meet.
Yeah.
And Rick, we already said their jobs, but they're trying to figure out the holiday thing because they both are on budgets, and they're like gonna share time. Like she'll get the kids during the day, and he'll get them at night or whatever.
They're
Yeah.
talking through the schedules.
Yeah.
Right. And
I remember all that.
the kids have their wish, okay, and they're talking to the mom after the mom takes them home. Tracy's the mom's name, and they're like, we want the whole family to be together for Christmas. They're like writing out their list, and that's all they have on it. And they're like, we want to go to Mimi and Pop Pop's farm. We want to go to Mimi and Pop Pop's farm with you both, mom and dad there, and the whole family will be there.
I know it'll be weird,
Sure.
but
No,
just
not
for
weird
us.
at all.
Yeah.
And
And then they have the picture.
yeah,
And the whole animated scene at the beginning, the kids show the mom the picture. And they're like, look, here we are. Me, mom, Pop Up, and you and dad, and us.
And everyone's together.
yes.
Yeah.
And Tracy, to her credit, is like, well, we'll see what I can do. But she's clearly like not wanting it to happen. So she calls Rick up and she's like, the kids want this. I'm going to ask my mom, but she'll probably say no because she hates you.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, yeah, she does hate me because, we got divorced and she thinks I'm a deadbeat.
And also, she's awful.
Yeah. And we cut to the mom and it's like the best cut because we're like in this real reality thing. And then we cut to Dee Wallace and she's like, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. She's like, here I am. And she's like very Hallmarky Christmas kind of vibe. She's like, wants everything to be perfect. She has the perfect little house and the perfect little family. She's a preacher's wife,
Leader of the choir.
leader of the
All of
choir. But it was just a very funny juxtaposition from what we had been seeing to this perfect thing.
To this jing jing jingling jing 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 jing. Yeah.
Yes,
I love it when you do that.
I know.
That's Christmas. That's what
the
Christmas
Christmas
is.
song.
That's the Christmas song.
But-
I don't know I don't know any of the words.
You don't need to.
No.
And that's it.
Right. Well, Tracy is correct in that her mom is not about it. She's like, you're divorced though, and we don't believe in divorce in this family, and you have, messed up the sanctity of marriage.
Yep,
and
you got it.
all that stuff. And you're starting to get a glimpse into their relationship, which is strained.
Yeah. And you would think, I think they started with, okay, we don't go to Me Mom Pop Pops anymore because it's too hard with sharing Christmas with dad.
Gotcha.
But you also get a glimpse of And she doesn't really want to go because her and her mom have this
Cool.
strained relationship.
Gotcha.
Right.
That's fun.
But the dad, the preacher dad, is like, well, maybe it's the holidays and maybe we should
Do it for
give
the
it.
girls.
Yeah, they want it and we can have them over. So they change their tune. They call them back, and the daughters answer the phone. They're like, "Oh my God, our Christmas wish came true!
They did it.
The title of the movie, which I would automatically pour it off if they kept the title, but they didn't. It's Every Other Holiday.
Every Other Holiday.
But they
so
said
now
it.
now it's making sense.
Yeah.
That is a great title.
I think so too. Yeah.
'Cause
Yes.
That's the thing. Like when you're
It's
when
so
you
relatable,
got some
right?
divorced rents.
Mm-hmm.
It's every other holiday, you know.
Yeah, it's tough.
The family comes to meet Mimi and Pop's farm. It's really hard to think about how to say that. And it's a nice house. It's like got like the white wraparound porch, and they have like an acre of land. They live by like horses. They're the Hallmark. They're the
Gotcha.
Hallmark
Yeah.
standard.
It's adorable.
Yeah.
It was adorable, and it's automatically tense. Like they put Tracy and Rick in separate rooms because they're divorced and they can't sleep in the same bed, and like
And there's not even enough room for them, so the mom's in the hallway on an air mattress. It's very uncomfortable.
Oh, okay.
yeah, they like went out of their way to not make nice accommodations for this family.
Yeah.
The Dee Wallace, whatever her character's name is,
Okay.
but she was for
Mimo.
And there is oh, what am I saying? Oh, it's like tense in the house, and they don't like have a chair for Rick at the table. They didn't set a place for him, and Tracy's like, what the
Yeah.
hell? Like,
There's all these
Damn.
little things
Little-
that just keep adding up. Like he didn't even.
And
He's
he's
sitting
like-
way low at the table.
Yeah.
Low man on the totem pole.
and
you
Dee
know?
Wallace is like, it could have been anybody that didn't have a place. He just happened to come in last. I didn't do this intentionally.
Honest mistake.
He came in late. That's right, Drew.
Yeah.
That's totally her vibe. So to get out of this, there's like a little competition between like the sisters. So there's like sisters that are there too. One sister is pregnant and she like announces it at the table and everyone's so excited for her.
Oh, okay.
Another sister got promoted at her job and she has a black husband. So,
Oh.
that was not an issue at all.
Great.
It was just he was there and he was her husband. They had interracial babies. Not a
Great.
word said about it.
Great.
So, we're saying Dee Wallace is like very uptight and like wants everything to be perfect. But
she kind of woke.
she's exactly.
Look
exactly.
at her.
I'm like
Yeah.
the fact that they had it and didn't have anything about it, or and her being like, oh well,
As long as they're married, right?
yes,
To her.
as
In the
long
eyes
as
of the
they're married.
Lord.
In the eyes of the Lord.
And it comes out that Rick is working at a bar, and Dee Wallace is livid. She's like, "How are you going to be giving people alcohol, sinners, and when they need to get clean, and you're just
Pouring it up for him.
enabling them?" Yeah, she would hate this podcast. So, and it's like very tense, and he's just like, "Well, how is me talking to people at a bar any different than people coming to church? Like you're just getting what you need where you get it."
Yeah. Yeah. Good point.
And the family's just like, this is awkward. We're not used to this type of conversation.
Yeah, none of them ever say anything when it gets tense. All the sisters just hush up, and they
I feel
let her fight it out with the Mima and the Pop
I
Pop.
feel like that's more realistic.
Yeah, because I think
Really?
don't know.
she's like the middle child too.
Okay.
Tracy is.
Yeah.
So makes sense. Middle child always gets the brunt of things. So it's tense in the house. So Rick and Tracy take their daughters out sledding to kind of get out of the house, and they have a day of it.
Yeah, it was a nice family moment. He's like, you know what? I hate it here. This is crappy, but let's go have fun with the kids like we said we were going to. And
Yeah.
so there was like this whole montage of them having a great little day.
Yeah, they go sledding, and then they get shot at by someone for being on their
Yeah.
property.
This is like their hometown, so they were going to do all these things they used to do, but they ended up getting in trouble with the same old man. And
Yeah.
all this,
Oh, okay.
you know,
Because
there's-
Tracy and Rick are high school sweethearts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they the town knows them as like, troublemakers.
Oh, okay.
Because they'd like canoodle in the corn husks.
Ooh.
Yeah. They're like the black sheep that left and went away and
Right.
didn't
Gotcha.
follow the rules.
Exactly. They go to like a movie, they go to like a diner, they have just like a nice family day, and they
Mm-hmm.
come back, and Dee Wallace is like standing right at the door, and she's like, where were you? You wasted a whole day that I could have been with my grandbabies, and I had things planned.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
And the kid's like, we had the best day ever. And Meemaw's like, I don't care. Go to bed. You need to yell at your mother. It's like, wait a second, lady.
Yeah. So she goes up to bed, and Tracy and Rick are talking about like their past mistakes, and they're like realizing that, you know, like their differences weren't so insurmountable that they couldn't have gotten through it if they just talked about it.
Yeah.
And they're getting really emotional. And then they just start like making out because, you know, they're just like,
Well, he tells her he still loves her.
Exactly. And you're like, oh, whoa. And they're like making out. And then Meemaw is up in her room with Pop.
Stirring.
And she's like, you know, I just gotta go downstairs for some water. I don't know why.
Right.
She's like, I don't trust
reason.
them. I don't trust them down on the couch. So she goes down. She sees them making out. And she's like, Tracy Lynn, you get your butt upstairs right now. Like the mom, like doing the thing.
Yeah,
And,
as if she's still 17.
yes.
Yeah.
And Tracy and Rick are just like laughing at her. They're like, oh my God, we were married. We're just kissing. They're just thinking she's the funniest thing, but they like listen and like go up. Tracy goes upstairs or whatever.
Yeah.
It was really cute. And then the next day, Tracy and her mom talk about Rick, and her mom doesn't think that he's changed, and she can't forgive him for like all the things he did to her when they were like when her daughters were babies. So like the mom, I guess, was helping out a lot with like raising them.
Yeah.
And he like ran off to go be a songwriter.
He was on the road a lot and left them when they were very small children. So the mom had to jump in and go down there with diapers
On the road.
Know. Yeah, I mean,
Life of a musician, man.
Exactly. And so she had to deal with it with these two small children and
Yeah.
no money, and so the mom's still bitter about it.
Yeah, she resents
That's fair.
resents Rick.
That's fair.
Also that day when they woke up, the mom was like, I have a whole day planned for us. We're going horseback riding, we're doing all these things. And Tracy's like, okay, great. And she's like, not Rick. We don't have enough horses for Rick. And really, the whole day was a plan to have Tracy meet this other dude that she was trying to set her up with. So
Brent.
the mom's got all these
Brent.
ulterior motives around this.
Yeah, so she meets Brent, and there's a thing where she slips in mud and gets her pants dirty and has to go with Brent and change her pants and like get his pants. You know, just to make it awkward.
Yeah, change.
But it comes back because there's a family snowball fight happening, and
Oh, yeah.
they're like throwing snowballs and everything, and they're having a good old time. And then who rolls up? Brent with freshly washed pants for Tracy, and he's like, "I have your pants." And then Rick's like, "What the hell? Why do you have my wife's pants?" Uh-oh. And Tracy's like, pause the snowball fight, pause. And she runs over and gets a pants. She's like, thank you so much. And then Rick's like, he has a snowball in his hand. He's like, this guy.
Oh, yeah.
This guy. And his brother-in-laws or ex-brother-in-laws, they're like, we wouldn't be mad if you just like hit him in the face. We wouldn't be mad about that. So he does. And he just like throws it, hits Brent in the face.
Biff.
And Tracy's like, ha ha ha. Come on, let's have a snowball fight. So then Brent's in on snowball fight, and then Brent stays over for dinner, and he's like really weaseling his way in there.
Meemaw invites him over for dinner.
Okay. She's like, come sit down. So it's like Tracy in the middle, Rick on one side, Brent on the other side, and they're like taking jabs at each other.
Could not be more awkward.
Right. Rick inherited a car from his dad who died.
Uh-huh.
And it's like a Mustang, like an old car. And Brent's like, it's a lot of money to upkeep a car like that. I don't know how you're supporting a family. And Rick's like, well, you have a lot of horses on your ranch, so I bet it costs a lot of money to feed those horses.
Yeah, and you can catch a lot of babes with horses.
Right. Yeah, trying to catch my ex-wife. And then Tracy's like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
She takes Rick up. They have a conversation in the other room. And they're like, he's like, why are you talking to him? She's like, there's nothing going on. He's just a guy that brought me my pants.
He's just a dude.
But it was such a high and a low for Rick because he was like, great family day. And then the next day, Meemaw just puts up this wall and
Poor
doesn't
Rick,
let him.
man.
I know. And he was such a good sport to go to this stupid
Yeah,
thing.
I know.
Like he was just doing it for his kids. Couldn't Meemaw just suck it up?
Yeah.
And what we forgot was Pawpaw had a chat with Rick to go get the car.
Pop.
Yeah, Pop.
Yeah.
So, and he was like talking to him man to man, like, how you gonna get by? How you gonna do this? And so he was really having a nice conversation with him, kind of linking back to what he said about being a bartender. You know, a pastor and a bartender aren't really that different. In the sense that they're both there to talk to people and help people through their problems.
And listen, and they're a last resort for a lot of people.
And
Yeah.
sometimes feed bullshit
Yeah.
when you need to.
Exactly.
So,
Tell you what you need to hear sometimes.
but it was nice to see them relating, and also like kind of having like fatherly like son jabby
Yeah.
things. Like he was like, "Well, you're a preacher. I'm surprised to hear this," and he's like, "Well, you're a country western singer. I'm surprised to hear you talk instead of sing your country songs." You know, like this preacher dad is so funny. I love him.
He was like such a star in this show.
He really was. So Tracy is like, I need space to figure out what I want, type of thing, and so her and Rick aren't really like talking. They're not. They're just like taking some space in the house.
Taking a minute.
So Rick is outside on the porch drumming his guitar. He's like working on a song, and Dee Wallace comes out, and she's like, I want to like get this right, because she's like, why are you here? Like Tracy, like you had your chance to have Tracy, and you blew it.
Yeah.
You blew it, and I'm trying to set her up with other people, and that's my prerogative. And he's like, don't you think that that's rude when I'm here with my family, doing family time and like trying to like make everyone happy, to like set her up with somebody else while I'm here? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was just her screaming at him and him saying, I'm trying. And she's like, it's too late. You can't try anymore.
Yeah,
It's
you
too
had
late.
your chance.
Stubborn ass
She's just
lady.
trying to rule Tracy's life, which
Yeah.
is what she's always tried to do.
Yes. And so Rick, after the argument, Rick goes and tells his daughter, he's like, okay, I tried. We had a nice time, but I have to leave. And
Mama and I don't get along.
yeah, Mima, we're not really getting along. So I'm gonna just remove myself from the situation, and you guys will have a nice Christmas, and you'll come home, and we'll have Christmas together, and you'll get 2 Christmases like you do all the time. And the girls are like, great, but that's not what we wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're sad. And he goes out to his
Unless
Mustang.
it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Eee.
And
Yeah, bad
he's like
timing.
getting in the car, and they're like running after him.
Oh.
Like, don't go.
Is he stopping?
No, he just drives
He's
off.
just like,
yeah. Yeah.
Like a rear view mirror shot of the kids in their little
it
red
was
dresses.
So sad.
This one got me.
uh-oh.
Again.
And uh-oh, Rick.
So Tracy, of course, is like, Mom, what did you say to Rick? And the mom's like, well, I just told him that he's not good enough for you and that he doesn't get any more chances and he's done. And Tracy's like, that's not for you to decide. Motherfucker. Like, this is my relationship.
And this fight is happening in front of the entire
whole
family
family.
except the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're
Even the
all
kids.
they're all watching, and there's like one sister, the one who's pregnant, hugging her husband in the background, and they're just like, "Oh no, drama!" And the mom's like, I don't understand why you don't just like move on. And Tracy's like, you need to understand that I'm going to make my choices in my life, and I am not doing things because you want me to be this perfect child. And I'm not perfect. And, it's a lot of stress to come here for the holidays and have to pretend to be perfect when I'm not. I work at a diner. I'm struggling. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Like, I'm just doing the best that I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let me make my own mistakes because look at these 2 beautiful children.
Yeah,
Like,
look.
I'm happy to
Look
make
at these 2 mistakes.
Yeah. You like them, don't you?
Yes.
And that
And,
was her point.
yeah.
And
It-
then storms out.
And
All
then and
the-
the kids are like, we're mistakes?
yeah.
Of course you are.
They're playing with makeup in her purse. Don't worry. They weren't really listening.
Not paying attention at all.
Okay.
And the siblings all come out with their imperfections. So they're like, Mom. And the mom's like, oh, great. Now we're all going to chime in. And like, actually, yes. And one of the sister that got the promotion didn't really get the promotion. She just said she got the promotion to get her mom off her back.
Yeah.
The one
okay.
sister is in couples counseling with her husband, and she has an eating disorder. And the mom's like, what? Why didn't you tell me? Like, I'm your mom. And she's like, either you're going to like try to help and be all up in my business, or you're going to just like be
Judgy, and mad.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's not a win-win either way.
Yeah. I don't want either one of those.
But don't worry, the other sister clenching her husband over there. She's like, no, nothing from us.
We're perfect.
No, I'm good.
We're still perfect.
Yeah. We're perfect over
You
here.
can tell she's the baby.
Yeah. It was nice. It was nice because, that would so be me. So Tracy goes back with her daughter. She like doesn't stay. And then the family goes to church.
Yeah.
And at church,
It's Christmas Eve service. The pastor's leading, you know.
Okay.
He's doing
Mom's singing with the choir.
She is. And she gets so emotional because she's so sad her daughter left on bad terms that she like has to stop singing. And she's like, everyone just sing
Let's
the
just all
song.
sing
We all
it.
know the song.
Yeah.
Let's all sing it together. So sing it all together. And then the pastor goes up and he's like talking about Rick indirectly. He's doing like a Christmas sermon, but he's like, here's a guy who's trying to make things meet and he didn't have enough money to make presents for his kids.
Yeah.
He couldn't get him a Barbie doll, so he wrote them a song instead. And the song lets his daughters know that he loves them because he didn't hear that when he was growing up, and that's why he has struggled so hard.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
And Dee Wallace is like, ping, light bulb. Like maybe I'm being too harsh on him.
Oh.
Yeah, that was another magical moment in this one.
Yeah.
Really sending it home that Papa was just the most wonderful guy, and he totally taught a lesson
like,
to everybody that
Yeah,
day.
to everybody, and most importantly, his wife in a non-direct way. Because if he just said that to her, she'd be like, "Oh, you're talking gibbly-goop.
You're talking gibbly.
It's Christmas,
You don't know.
gibbly-goop."
You don't know, Papa.
Yes. So Tracy goes to the bar to find Rick, and Rick has bought the bar because he sold his Mustang and bought the bar, so now he's the bar owner.
I'm pretty sure that was my favorite line in the movie. I sold a car. I bought a bar.
So you,
Yeah.
I will say, a bar costs a lot more than a Mustang.
Yeah,
A lot more.
probably.
Than you could
Maybe it
get
was like a
for-
down payment.
You should have
Maybe.
seen this bar.
It must have been. Oh,
It wasn't that nice.
Okay. It was.
But luckily, it's a bar.
It was
he
a
can sing at.
$20,000
Yes.
bar.
So
Yeah.
he's like,
Exactly.
oh, conveniently enough, I'm singing my song about my daughters right now. So he
Yeah,
gets on stage
Tracy, you're just in time.
and he starts singing his song and he's like plunking away on the guitar. And it's just like a Western song.
I liked it.
I mean, it
It could totally be on the air.
sure. It was like, I love my daughters, I love my wife, and I'm here
There was also
all
a
the
little thing-
Christmas time.
Wait, what was the next verse? I just don't remember.
And then I walked up and right beside her and Yankee
No.
Doodle, and there was me.
You're singing "This Land Was Made for You and Me."
Well, that's basically
This
what it
land was made for
Right.
you.
That's basically what it was.
Me.
But it is a good song, and it like goes with the theme. And in walks Dee Wallace and Pop Pop.
Oh.
And she is like watching the thing, and she's just like taking it in. She's like, "Oh my god!"
And she's
hits.
seeing Tracy in the way that Tracy reacts to his music. And it's just Christmas magic. It
Yeah.
really was.
And she starts singing along with the chorus, and Sarah was singing along with the chorus, and I was singing Yankee Doodle or whatever I was singing.
Oh, it was "All I Needed You and Me in Tennessee." That was it.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, that totally is a country song that's on the air right now.
Absolutely.
That's got to be.
And that's pretty much it. I think they kiss at the end. And
Well, they go back.
Oh.
They go back and sleep at the Meemaw and Pop Pops for the
Okay.
night,
And
and
have a
everybody wakes
Christmas.
up and has a beautiful Christmas morning.
yeah,
All right.
no kiss.
And their Christmas wish came true.
Yes,
So
that's it.
let me get this straight though.
Yes.
So Rick, in one night, no,
Less.
in just a few hours, sold his car and bought a bar.
Yeah. Facebook Marketplace. That's amazing.
It could have happened, yeah, especially on Christmas Eve.
Sure,
That's a
you need
great
a
Christmas
present.
Cash money right there.
There you go.
I tell you what, our armoire sold in like minutes.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. Okay. On the podcast, Sarah, you know the drill. We either pour it up or put a cork in it. What are you going to do to this movie?
I'm definitely pouring it up. I actually fell asleep midway through the movie and had to rewatch the ending the next day because
Oh, okay.
I was so into it, but I was so sleepy
Right.
Well,
or
nice.
drunk.
Or drunk or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the
But
same
yeah,
thing.
this was way outside of any Hallmark. I mean, this was Lifetime, right?
Yes.
So it was just a very real life tale of not your perfect Christmas, and
Yeah.
it was super relatable, and we loved it. Yeah, pouring it up.
Yeah.
Drew?
You know what? Of course I'm gonna pour it up. I know that. I know that like broken family stuff.
Yeah.
I'm all over that.
Yeah.
And
And
you
it's-
were like
and it's
so not
You
about
get-
it.
You get two Christmases.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Double the
I
presents.
wasn't about like the
Parent Trap.
description. Yeah, because it sounded like from the description that the kids were trying to get their parents together again,
Yeah.
and I don't like that because that's not real. That's not a real thing.
Yeah, and the
gives false
parents
hope.
did get back together again.
Yeah, but like on their own accord.
Yeah.
it sounds like.
And it wasn't like so romantic comedy-y where it's like, it wasn't unbelievable or like super cheesy.
yeah, there was no
romance.
bumping into each other.
It
They're
like,
like, oh, Remember? Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of that. I am also going to pour it up because, as I have said, Lifetime is taking a different approach than Hallmark, and this is a perfect example of that. Lifetime still has some that are kind of like Christmassy and they fall into the tropes, but they also have the option to do something like this because this is Maravista Drew who does the like scary Lifetime ones.
Oh, okay.
So, they just have a different view on things. They're not tied to like the formula. So it's nice to break formula. And on social media, people are like, this one was kind of a downer. And I'm like,
really?
Like, I understand that pace from like the shiny, glitzy, Christmassy, but this was more like real. And I think it's important to remember that during the holidays, a lot of people feel the need to be perfect and like to have the perfect Christmas. And like Hallmark really perpetuates that. It's aspirational, right?
Right.
So Lifetime is kind of like showing the real side, and like Christmas isn't always going to be like Christmas tree lightings and baking gingerbread and doing all the things and feeling not perfect if you don't do it.
Right.
Like taking the pressure off and just kind of like being with family.
Just hanging out with family.
Yeah.
So pour it up for that.
Yeah.
Pour it up.
Wonderful.
Yep.
I think that wraps up our conversation about every other Christmas. But before we go, we have our favorite segment of this week and every week. What you say? Candace, Cameron, Bure. On my wedding day, catch the bouquet. Candace hates the gays. Candace, Cameron, Bure. Drinking rosé, eating creme brulee. Can't share with me. Candace, Cameron, Bure. Yeah. What you say? Candace, Cameron, Bure. All right. What you say, Candace, Cameron, Bure. So, if you didn't know, Candace has a movie out this weekend that already has passed called A Shoe Axe Christmas, and Candace just loves it. So, I'm going to play a little clip. It's going to be about that probably.
Great.
And we'll
I
see.
can't get enough of that one.
I know.
Natasha, are you going to be doing anything today?
Just working. That wasn't the answer we were looking for.
I know.
But that's okay.
That's her daughter.
I have nothing else to say.
Okay. So, that is it for this. Candace. So Candace was going around the car making all her kids like say like, what are you gonna do tonight? And they all were like, we're gonna watch Shoe Addicts Christmas.
And they're like 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central.
Yeah,
like,
she did it to like both of her sons, and they
total
did it.
advertising,
But
yeah.
this one, but her daughter's like, I'm working.
I'm working. I have a job.
Yeah.
I don't have time for this.
I'm not looking at your Insta story. Move the camera away from me.
Yes. And she's like hiding from the camera. I just love that Candace has a rebellious daughter,
I love that.
and that the most rebellion she's doing is not talking on her Instagram.
Is
You know,
not, yeah, is not.
Candace, you
playing
better put
along.
her in rehab. She is out of control. That Natasha Bure is out of control.
Natasha Bure,
Get it together.
I like you.
I mean, would you expect anything more from Natasha Bure?
No.
She's like, Mom, you're so extra. You're so extra, Mom.
I can't imagine having Candace Cameron Bure as my mother.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't.
It's not something I can fathom.
She probably is like tries to be like her best friend,
Right.
more than her mom or something. And she's like, Mom, this no.
Doesn't work. Doesn't work.
You're
What
not
does she
cool.
do for a what is?
She's an actress and a model. And
Oh, okay.
She's in the entertainment industry. She was in, I
Yeah.
think, Candace's movie last year.
Oh, okay.
I think
Yeah.
she was.
Good for her.
Yeah, but she's like, her Instagram looks fun.
Yeah.
Follow her. Follow Natasha Bure. Don't follow Candace Cameron Bure.
Now we're in support of the daughter, for
right.
sure.
Yes.
Sure. The daughter's great. And I just love that little sass. That's like such a teenager thing to do.
Yeah, but I think she's older. She looks a good
Yeah,
21,
she's
22.
Early 20s, probably.
How old's Candace?
Good question.
Early 40s?
Well, we'll ask her when
maybe?
she calls into the podcast.
That's the
Stay
first thing
tuned
we should
next
ask
week.
her.
Yes. All right. My email's blowing up for work. We should have this episode. I don't know what's going on. Okay. So, Sarah, is there anything you'd like to plug in the pluggy time of the show?
Oh, follow me at Sarah Reed is
Oh, that's it.
on Insta.
That's
Yeah.
great. Drew, what about you?
You can follow me, Drew, but with pants.
Okay, great. And you can follow me at Patrick Miguel. Don't forget to follow the podcast at Lifetime on Court. Check out our website, lifetimeoncourt.com. And we'll see you next week. We're doing 6 episodes this week. This is the most sober I will be, so enjoy this while it lasts. Okay, bye.
Bye.